10 centimeters cube of concentrated sulfuric 6 acid were diluted to 1000 centimeters cubic. 25 centimeters cubic of this diluted acid were neutralized by 30 centimeters cubic of 0.3 molar sodium hydroxide. Calculate the mass of the acid in 1 dm cube of the concentrated 1 dm cubic of the concentrated acid. So the first thing we do, let us write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction. So that is, we have sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid forming sodium sulfate, plus water plus CO2 gas. Okay, this is gas, liquid, aqueous, aqueous. So we balance our equation. So that is our balanced chemical equation: sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric 6 acid forming sodium sulfate, water, and carbon 4 oxide gas. So the first thing we need to do now, we need to get the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. Our question was saying 10 centimeters cube of the concentrated sulfuric acid were diluted to 1000 centimeters cubic. 25 centimeters cubic of the diluted acid were neutralized by 30 centimeters cubic of 0.3 molar sodium hydroxide. So that is where we will get our number of moles of sodium hydroxide. This is the molarity, that is 0.3 molar sodium hydroxide. So we have got the molarity of the base, and there we have got the volume used. So that means if 0.3 moles is 1000, we will get the number of moles in 25 centimeters cubic. So that is 0.3 moles times 25 all over 1000, like that. So that will be 0.3 times 25, and then not 25, 30. Sorry for that. This one is 30. So that will be 0.3 times 30 all over 1000 will give us 0.009 moles. So that is the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. So from there now, we can get the number of moles of sulfuric acid using the mole ratio. The mole ratio of sodium hydroxide to sulfuric 6 acid is 2 to the ratio 1. 2 to the ratio 1, which means now the number of moles of sodium hydroxide is 0.009 moles. So we can get the number of moles of sulfuric 6 acid. That one will say if 2 is equal to 0.009 moles, how about 1? So that will be half of 0.009. So that is 1 times 0.009 all over 2, which will give us 0.0045 moles. So that is the moles of sulfuric acid. Okay. If now we have got the number of moles of sulfuric acid, and the question was asking to calculate the mass of the acid in 1 dm cube of concentrated sulfuric acid, and then we will use the information we have. We were told 25 centimeters cube of this diluted acid was neutralized by 30 centimeters cube of 0.3 molar sodium hydroxide, which means 25 centimeters cubic is in 0.0045 moles. So we can get the molarity of the diluted acid. Okay, if now 0.0045 moles is in 25 centimeters cube, we will find the number of moles in 1000 centimeters cube. So that will be 0.0045 moles times 1000, then all over what? 25 centimeters cubic. So let's get that. 0.0045, then divide with 25. That is 0.18. 0.18 molar. Since its molarity, I will give capital M. That is 0.18 molar. So molarity of the concentrated acid, diluted acid, molarity of the diluted acid is equal to 0.18 molar. And then the volume of the volume of the concentrated acid, diluted acid, is equal to what? Of the diluted acid is equal to 1000 centimeters cube. And then the volume of the diluted acid, concentrated acid, volume of sulfuric acid is equal to 10 centimeters cubic. At the first place, we're told 10 centimeters cube of the concentrated acid were diluted to 1000 centimeters cube. That means the volume of the conc acid is 10 centimeters cubic. And then, so we need to get the molarity of the concentrated acid. How can we get that? We use the formula M1 times V1 is equal to M2 times V2. M1 is the initial concentration, V1 is the initial volume, M2 is the final concentration, and V2 is the final volume. So our M1 is what we are finding. We don't have M1 times V1 of the concentrated acid, which is 10, is equal to M2, which is 0.18 molar, times V2, which is 1000 centimeters cubic. So to get now M1, let us divide by 10 and divide 10 on the other side. So M1 is equal to 0.18 times 1000 over 10, which is 18. So the molarity of the concentrated acid is equal to what? 18. So to get now the mass is equal to mass in 1 dm cube of the conc acid will be equals to molarity times molar mass. So the molarity of the concentrated acid is 18 for our case. So 18 times the mass of the concentrated acid will be what? Well, let's do that. The molar mass of sulfuric 6 acid, here we have got H is equal to 1 times 2, which is 2, S, which is 32, and then O, which is 16 times 4, which is 48. So that will give us 34 plus, let's do 16 times 4 plus 34. That is equal to what? 98. 98. So the molar mass of the conc acid is 98. And then, so that will give us 18 times 98 is equal to 1764 gram. So that is the mass of the concentrated acid in 1 dm